It's not a bird, it's not a plane, it's Superhero Slate. It's a weekly podcast where we talk about everything that's great, like movies, TV, superheroes. It's Superhero Slate. Oh yeah.
Hello everyone and welcome to Superhero Slate, the show where we run down the latest superhero entertainment news.
We love TV, movies, superheroes, and your moms, so let's talk it all out.
My name is Chris.
And my name is Mike.
And this week, Daredevil second season wraps up. So I guess I hate saying Born Again every time. It's just Daredevil. Can we just call it Daredevil? Do we have to call it Born Again season 2?
Well, depending on how you're Googling it, I think they just sort everything chronologically, because I've been typing like how many episodes in season 2 of Daredevil, and it usually gives me Born Again because it's the most recent. So I guess it depends what algorithm you're communicating with.
Yeah, right. Hey Claude, can you give me the Daredevil things? We need to create like a good comic book or superhero movie reference for an AI. Like there's Jarvis obviously, but something else. We can come across that later. For that, Batman gets a cold. Sniffle, but not really. There's a reason that it's a play on words. We'll talk about the Batman Part 2 later on, folks. For that, Mortal Kombat hits theaters. Get it, hit, punch. I'm on a roll. I'm on a roll today. And I watched Mortal Kombat 2. Mike did not, but we'll talk about that here at the top. Spoiler free and more.
Yeah, I should clarify in the intro there, we like your moms because
Yes.
tomorrow is Mother's Day from when we're recording. You might be listening to this on Mother's Day. So if you're a mother or you have a mother, happy Mother's Day and send your thoughts and prayers. Why did I say prayers? I think just, sorry, that might sound like...
May the force be with you and also with you situation, yeah.
Yeah, May the 4th was just
week.
a couple days ago.
Yeah.
I swear, Star Wars is like May the 4th is all about just what animated show do we have that needs a little bit more of a push, because all I saw was like mall clips, totally out of context, because I have no idea what's going on in this mall TV show, because I won't watch it and I'll just wait until Chris tells me about it. So I saw all these clips of like Darth Maul, and I was like, "Oh yeah, it is May the 4th, isn't it?"
Yeah. Well, it also ended this week as well, like the season.
Oh, that's probably what it was. Yeah, because I think the clip I saw did kind of seem like maybe some sort of climax of the story. But yeah, if you're a mom out there, maybe you also like Darth Maul, and maybe this is like a gift to you. To see Vader pop up. I don't know if that's a spoiler, but it was spoiled for me all over my timeline.
There you go. Well, that's what we do. But yes, we're recording a little day early. This might be out Sunday, might be out Monday. I don't know when I'm going to edit this yet. So if it is Mother's Day, happy Mother's Day. If not, happy belated Mother's Day to all those folks around. Mike, you, not your mother, your wife, who's a mother, was out, and you had some free time. And you got things in here that you don't normally get to do. So let's jump into that.
She was out of the house last weekend working a film festival. So kind of prime time for just really any partner in a relationship to go, okay, what is something that my other half typically doesn't want to watch that I can take advantage of right now?
I do that with food, by the way. I like my wife doesn't like sushi or seafood, and I will do that every time she's gone.
Oh, yes, agree. It's always good to have like, I think, a food buddy.
Yeah.
Like somebody that shares like a lot of overlap in what you like to eat, and then just call them up, be like, "You want to go eat?" Like, I'm not looking to catch up with you. I don't really care how your week went. I just want to eat with somebody. That's a good strategic friend to have. But what I ended up watching was two things on my list. One, I was so upset that I couldn't record last week because of that Resident Evil trailer I wanted to talk about. But thanks for filling in for me, Brian. I appreciate that. But the Zach Krieger synergy got me to finally watch Weapons. I am a little bit of a scaredy baby when it comes to horror movies, but like he's kind of more of like a master of like suspense, and he's kind of in that like filmmaking category of like Jordan Peele now, where we're just kind of like really elevating the medium. I believe did it win an Oscar, or it was definitely nominated. I don't remember. It definitely had to like the little branch laurel things on the HBO Max poster when I selected it. But it was great. Weapons was awesome. I watched it like in the middle of the day with the curtains closed, so it was slightly spooky on my end, but it was awesome. I think if you've been around like film, like internet for like the last year when it's been out, you kind of have like an idea of maybe what it's about. You've seen like the memes of the kids running, the Conan O'Brien like Oscar opening. So I felt like I had an idea of what was going to happen, but I wasn't expecting actually the craft of filmmaking in it. There was kind of like a cool way the story unfolds where it kind of follows a person during different chunks of the movie, and then it kind of all coalesces together. So that was cool. I wasn't expecting that like little that nice little filmmaking touch. Some really cool moments of suspense. So I mean, obviously I don't have to be the one to recommend Weapons, but actually if you're somebody that's kind of scared of movies, I think there's enough going on here where you're not going to be like super grossed out. You're not going to see like, like nasty viscera or really anything. It's more psychological, but it was great psychological, and the payoff at the end was so great that like a couple days later I told my wife, I was like, okay, I'm gonna show you like the last 5 minutes of this movie because it's so crazy and so satisfying. I just kind of wanted to see how she would react, and it was fun watching her take this in with like almost no context. So go check out Weapons. And then checked off Predator Badlands. This one has been sitting in my queue forever.
Yeah.
It was really fun.
Yeah.
I love jumping into the world of like Predator and Alien and Weyland-Yutani. It kind of ebbs and flows in like quality, but I'm just interested enough in the sci-fi world that I don't even really care if it ends up being good or bad. I have a good time. But this one was good. They did a good job making the Predator. I already forgot his name. Dek. I think it's Dek. D-E-K. It was kind of interesting. They introduced this idea of like, oh, the predator races can kind of have like runts that they usually just kill because it's like a disgrace to have a runt in your family, and then he runs off to go hunt the biggest thing that he can find to prove himself. And it was kind of weird hearing a predator like have speaking lines in the movie and seeing it in closed captioning, but it worked overall. And I really liked Elle Fanning. Her characterization of the synth was like really entertaining. It was kind of like naive, hopeful, dorky, and I think it worked really, really well. One pet peeve I do have with most modern science fiction, and they didn't get away with this either, is usually most creature alien design is just kind of like, it always just looks like an animal on Earth. Then they just make it bigger and they put like tentacles on it. And that's kind of what like the big beast that he's hunting looks like. Kind of looks like a monkey mixed with like a wolf. And then they have like some tendrils coming off of it. Like I swear, like every like sci-fi movie, they just do the same thing. And I don't know if we've just run out of unique looks for like aliens. Especially in a world with like the xenomorph technically that this shares with. So that was a little bit of a bummer. I was hoping that like this big creature that they like kind of reveal like halfway through the movie would kind of look a little cooler. But I was just like, oh, okay. It's just got like tentacles or whatever. But overall, it was fun. It was cool. Mm-hmm. The planet was very brutal and was trying to kill him around every corner. And I thought that was fun.
you're the second person to bring this movie up since it came out last year, because I saw it in theaters, and I have not thought of the movie since I saw it in theaters. To be completely honest. I
don't think it has a lot of staying power. I mean, this is kind of the strategy that studios have of like, well, this is a familiar IP, so we can sell it and get people to come to the theater. But since it's not new, you can't really. It's kind of hard to like make a core memory out of it,
Well, the other part of it is it's essentially half Alien movie, half Predator movie. Like, it's not a pure Predator movie. Right, like the main characters are like one main character is a predator, the other main character is literally a Weyland-Yutani synth. So I'm like, again, I said this like last year. I wish Alien Earth, that mission they were on to get life forms was the mission from Alien Earth. Like maybe the eyeball popped up, or the other creatures from Alien Earth ended up going back with one of these spaceships. Because like that's what they were doing, cool. Was collecting the stuff. I'm like, oh, where's our Alien movie back end here? Because like Alien had the I forget what it was called. It's not Prometheus, Covenant. No, I don't remember which one it was. They all got weird names. Romulus. It was Romulus. Had to go, but like that's set around the time the Sigourney Weaver one is. But like that was the only thing I wish it had more Alien connection to it.
Yeah, I highly doubt this will happen, but I would love if like Alien Earth, like season 3 or 4, like Deck and Elle Fanning would like show up. It's just not going to happen, but I would love it though. It'd be so much fun.
Yeah. Or, if like, obviously I think there's room for more Predator movies out there between Prey and Badlands. I think there's room for more. And what was the other one? Killer of Killers as well, right? The animated one. Like, they're all teeing off to something. They all seem to be moving towards something. So I would like to see them kind of culminate together and be like, yep, we are a shared universe. Congratulations. You guys figured it out.
But I wasn't the only one that watched movies this week, Chris. You went to a movie that I will probably wait, similar to Predator Badlands, like a year to watch. So you can tell me whatever you want. I'll probably forget.
So I went to Mortal Kombat 2 this week. It is in theaters this weekend. I will not ruin anything, but again, as I told Mike before the show started, how do you spoil a Mortal Kombat movie? I like literally the whole game in the trailers are built around people fighting and killing each other to get to Shao Kahn to take over this. I'll tell you right now, I watched the first one Thursday night. I stayed up late working on stuff, watched the first one, and then went into the second one, or Wednesday night, saw the second one Thursday. I did get the popcorn Slate bucket, the Slate popcorn bucket. It was $30. It's a metal tin. I love it. It's awesome. It's like one of the cooler ones this year until that He-Man sipping cup comes out. That's the whole sword, which we actually have here in our notes as well. So overall, went in. This movie picks up exactly where the other one left off. Like there's no notes, there's no exposition. It's like, hey, you know what Mortal Kombat is. You're here for the second one. No fucking bones about it. We got a tournament this time. We're gonna do a damn tournament. So a lot of the people return from the first movie. Carl Urban as Johnny Cage is one of the main characters, probably the main character. Katana is probably the other main character we've seen from the trailer. So really fun. One of the coolest things about this is, again, like I said, it's unapologetically fatalities like nobody's fucking business, Mike. Like, I'll tell you right now, there's like the every fight is at an iconic Mortal Kombat level that you've played in the game at some point. So the first one is just a town. The second one is the spike pit. You remember, like, you've seen the spike pits from like the older Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 games, right? Where like,
of course,
it's like the big thing. So like, there's a spike pit. People do get impaled on some spikes here and there throughout this. No one, I'll tell you right now, you think people are safe. No one's safe in this fucking movie. Like, that was the wild part. Like the shock value of some of the people you think are gonna live, some you think are gonna die, vice versa. It's wild. There's another one. Remember we saw it in the trailer, the acid pit level, right? Like it's called the Deadpool in the games. There's the Deadpool acid level. There's another one that's like in like a Nexus realm. Like, every fight starts off with that camera shot where it comes down, fighter on left, fighter on right, and a wide open shot, just like the games. And I love that. Overall, this isn't a thinking movie. It's Mortal Kombat. It's a video game brought to life. It is this side fights, this side fights. The bad guys want to win. If they win, they get to take over Earth. And that's really about it. There's some really cool stuff, with some of the returning characters. Again, from the trailer, Scorpion comes back, seeing some of that stuff. It does set itself up for a third movie, and I think they said last October they're working on a third movie. I would love to see this get that, just to wrap it up, because this is probably, outside of the first Mortal Kombat movie in 1995, the second best Mortal Kombat movie out of all the collection I've seen so far.
Do I need to rewatch the first movie at all, or can I just jump right into the
You can just jump right in. You can just jump right in. There's no need to go back to that. I watched it again, and I'm like, this was... Like, I remember having a good time, but not loving it. And I watched it again, I'm like, I don't love it, but I remember the fights being good. And this one, the fights are even better than that. So, Carl Urban, Johnny Cage, steals the show. I'll give him that. He is a fun guy. Baraka is also another fun dude in this movie as well. So if you like the characters, you like the games, this is for you. I don't have to sell it to anybody. You're probably already going, but it was a good time with that. So it was just fun having a good time with my Slate popcorn bucket in front of me the whole time watching. I'm like, yeah, this is why we do this. This is why we do the podcast every week for that. It was weird. It's an R-rated movie, but all the trailers before it were essentially horror film trailers, like Resident Evil Burn, Resident Evil, all this other stuff. I'm like, oh, these are like, they're really up in the gore movies coming up this year, like the gruesomeness. Like you talked about the viscera, like the upcoming movies in this trailer were pretty visceral. Gotta give people what they're paying for. This is how you get people back in the seats. Yeah. But yeah, overall there was no. Again, happy to say there's no animalities, no babalities, no friendships. At the end of these, yeah. But there were fatalities. Like there was nobody's business. So. Highly. If you're into it, you're going to see it. This isn't going to change your mind if you're not, Mike. But I do want you to see. I don't want you to wait a year, but maybe when it comes out on streaming, hopefully we can get you to watch it. Moving on. Also on coming up in theaters in next month, June. Less than a month away is Masters of the Universe. They did have a little trailer for that, which is awesome. Before that, tickets are down sale, and I want to share this poster of the armored He-Man riding the armored Battle Cat. Like the look Battle Cat people know, right? Rather than just the green tiger with his red armor. So I thought that was a pretty cool little poster there. But the other thing is, Cinemark decided to share their sword cup and a Coke Freestyle machine, which is one of Mike's weaknesses, by the way. Coke Freestyle machines. So I got a link in here. Mike, have you watched this video of them filling up the cup out of Freestyle machine?
Well, it's so funny. I watched this organically by myself just in my Threads feed this morning, I believe.
Yeah. So I saw this and I was like, oh, this is great because, again, the Freestyle machines are at our AMC. We don't have them here. But I do like that. Like this theater also has the popcorn bucket with the removable cup and the candy holder, which is awesome too. So...
It does seem like a missed opportunity to have like an extra long straw. This is me scrubbing through the video if you're trying to figure out what that noise was. I feel like there should be a hole at the end of the hilt, so you could kind of drink through the hilt of the straw.
I think you do. I think that the end of it screws off the little top of it. I think there's like a double. I think it's a double screw on it. I don't think they show it here, but I think it is.
I hope so.
Because I think the one I saw at whatchamacallit, whatever the theater thing was. I think it was CinemaCon.
Oh, maybe they're showing because you have to unscrew it at the kind of the base in order to fill it.
That's why
they need two. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, and then you can drink through the top. And I'm like, I can't wait to have that in a theater and just be slurping the shit out of that while taking up the entire row with my cup, sort of thing. And that's at Cinemark, which is next to me. I do enjoy that. It'll be probably if you were to get one or the other, Mike. I'm on the fence. I'm only going to buy one vessel from Master of the Universe. Would you buy the sword or would you buy the all-in-one Castle Grayskull?
I think if you asked like 8-year-old me, sword 100%. I was always looking forward to Halloween time at like my local department store because I just wanted the plastic ninja swords to play with all season round. So the sword 100%. But now, my older, more practical years, I would probably do the all-in-one because I could just give it to my daughter to play with as like a little play set. Here's basically like a really nice plastic toy. And then she'd probably get a kick out of it being like a cup and everything. So yeah, I think that's my answer.
The kid me says sword, but also the adult me says cleaning that cup's going to be a bitch. So I'm going to have to. I have those. You have those bottle tablets that like clean bottles for you, like where you fill it with water, throw the tablet in.
I've seen those before. Are those really long metal wires with bristles on them?
Yeah, but like the shape, they're not built for the shape of a sword. They didn't plan on that when they designed those. But like, yeah, I might though. I can't. But like, the other thing, like if I want to watch a movie in my theater, like against a kid, I would probably put my popcorn and candy and drink in the thing and just watch it with my Castle Grayskull in my basement. So I see the venture both. If anyone listening has a preference or a choice, let me know because I do want to know what you guys are thinking about it. Coming to theaters for at least one night only, that doesn't have any merch that we know of yet, is The Boys season 5 series finale overall, not just series finale, is heading to theaters on May 19th, which is a day earlier than Amazon Prime streaming day. So if you want to go watch it, I think some of the 4DX theaters have it, maybe some other ones, I'm not really sure. It seems like a trend. I mean, I saw the first 2 episodes of One Piece season 2 in theaters. Series finale in theaters seems pretty on point. Hopefully, it's a good one, right? Like full of action.
I can't remember. You checked out of The Boys, right? You're not watching it, right?
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I will probably get there. I'm caught up. I'm understanding. I know where everything is. Simply because of the show. But
did the deep popcorn bucket make it into your feed at all this week? There was an in-universe popcorn bucket.
I did see that. Yes, that's why I was like nothing is coming to the theaters that I know of, but it wasn't. Yeah,
this season's pretty wild because they are really predicting things that are happening right now in our real world, which makes it extremely uncomfortable to watch. But it has been fun watching them predict things still. It really kind of feels like how The Simpsons predicted things. But also, I'm ready for it to come to an end. I feel like I'm in this weird kind of space right now with a lot of TV shows I'm watching that I like, where I've historically liked all the seasons, but it does kind of feel like, all right, we're kind of running out of track here. We need to wrap this up, or we're really risking just kind of running through storylines again. And with a character like Homelander, it's really hard because he's like all powerful. He's essentially kind of like a one punch man of like, they've established over seasons nobody can really defeat him, no one can really beat him up. So no singular character is safe in a room with him, and that is very much displayed in this season as well. So it's just kind of like, well, then you're just going to have like Billy and Homelander, like they can only run into each other logically so many times without one of them finally dying. So you really start to feel that, and it's like, oh, I'm glad this is the final season, because I don't think there's any way to get one more season out of this stone. So I hope it wraps up nicely. Homelander kind of had this big victory at the very end of the most recent season, so that kind of like puts a little stick in the spoke of The Boys. So, but I'm glad there's like what two episodes left. It seems like.
Yeah, 2 left. Yep.
Yeah. Looking forward to wrapping it up.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know, like, again, it was it's been like if I would watch anything, I would probably skip last season and watch this one if I would watch them, simply because I think, so we talked about this, the status quo from season 4 was like where season 4 started and ended is about the same, but this one's kind of like really where, you know, obviously like you said, like the final things are in play, right? The final steps are being taken to end it, and at least they knew they ended on their terms, so they didn't get there. That I think they obviously Gen V, they say it was canceled. I don't think it was canceled. I think it ran its course as well. Right? Like how do you have a show run parallel with another show that's ending? Right? Like at the same time.
I think it simply wasn't renewed. And Vought Rising, which is supposed to air after the series finale, kind of seems like odd strategy, right? Because it feels like you really should have wrapped up The Boys with, you know, the main show. I really have no desire to like go back in time with a prequel for The Boys, really, in any way. I'm sure the show will be good if it's the same kind of creative group that's been doing like Gen V and The Boys. I'm sure it'll be quality, but like, boy, I'm just out of gas. So I have a feeling even if Vought Rising is great, probably just one season.
I think the thing is with it, I mean, it might get one, or I think it might get 2, just simply because I think, Amazon's pretty good at just giving 2 seasons out the gate. But it is, you know, from my understanding, obviously Vought Rising, a lot of its premise is built from the last episode. Like a lot of it's like, hey, here are the characters who are going to be in that. Were introduced in the last episode, right? Like Bombsight, Soldier Boy, obviously Stormfront, whatever her name. Her name wasn't Stormfront back then. It was whatever Lady. It wasn't Lady Liberty. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But either way, like those characters are like, you know, that's why it's kind of coming afterwards. And I've heard in passing that The Boys Mexico is still happening, but I don't know if that's actually happening or not. Like, so there could be some spinoffs, but like, you know, I'm glad again it's ending where it needs to as a show rather than running on for more than 5 seasons. So yeah. Star Wars Day was this past week, Mike. You missed it on the show. We talked about all our hopes and dreams, and then we were just let down. We were just cut the fuck down. Like literally, I don't think anything came out. Like there was a trailer before Star Wars Day for the racing game, the Galactic Racer, coming out this year in a release date. There was some Mandalorian stuff, like extra footage and trailers, but none of the other things we talked about. And I was like, okay, well, maybe it'll be a celebration this year. There's no celebration this year. Star Wars Celebration is next year. It's one of those shows that takes a year off and like skips a year. So I believe is it in Anaheim next year? A super fan Jim on the show sent
I think so.
me a question. I'm gonna pull it up here. I gotta go through his stuff. I missed it. I don't see it. He's gonna message me again, but I don't know exactly how far back. I think it's in California next year. Is my thoughts, but that'd be cool to go to that. Kind of do that. Would you ever go to a Star Wars celebration, Mike? Do you think there's enough there for you, or is it just one of those meh?
Conventions are a rough sell for me because I mainly go to conventions for like the spectacle of it all, which is why I loved Comic-Con so much, because even if you don't get into like the big halls and big announcements, there's always like something to occupy you. So when you kind of get into more of like these nicher conventions, really where you want to be is in those panel announcements. So unless there was like a higher chance that I could be in the room where it happens, I'm not 100% sure I would go, but it's very local to me, so it would be a lot easier, and it's right next to Disneyland, so I could go to Disneyland too.
So
I could do part convention, part Disneyland.
So the other part of this, well, okay, tickets are sold. So this isn't more of a convention, I guess. If it is, it's interesting because, like, again, tickets are sold out. I went on sale 3 days ago, and they're sold out. Is what it is. So my guess is like they do sell out because they assume they only have enough room for everyone to be in those panels. It's not like a Comic-Con where you kind of go and wander through stuff, right? Like, you know.
Okay, different story. Okay, that might be more of a sell, but obviously we missed our opportunity.
Yeah, so far. I think you can volunteer to work there if we want to do that. Maybe be an on-site kind of thing. But yeah, anyway, Star Wars Celebration, nothing here. We didn't get anything about Tales of the Jedi Luke Skywalker. We didn't get an Ahsoka Season 2 trailer. Maul was the other one that wrapped up this week with it, Season 1. Knowing Season 2 is coming. I think, well, maybe not next year, but they are working on Season 2 for that, which means they probably worked on it a little bit while they were doing Season 1. But yeah, we're kind of in a lull here. They're probably putting all Star Wars focus on The Mandalorian and Grogu. Early fan reactions say it's great. I still don't know what the story is, but my wife's so excited to watch it, so we're going to be there opening it. They did have the AT-AT Walker popcorn buckets at Cinemark. Have you seen those?
I have.
Mm-hmm. And they have like I was like, if those weren't like $70 goddamn dollars, I'd get one. Like, you know, like we don't have any Star Wars popcorn buckets because I told her, like, the last time we were in Star Wars was 2019 for the theaters, right? Like whenever that was the Rise of Skywalker or what it was.
Yeah. I feel like we are solidly in maybe like the third year of this popcorn bucket experiment by the motion picture industry. Like, I feel like we've had 3 solid years of outings of product, and now I feel like they're starting to test the waters of how much can we get these people to spend on these, what are essentially things that would cost half as much money if we sold them on the shelf in Target. I know last week you guys talked about that Mortal Kombat like goblet thing, which was like $100. I'm sure it feels premium. I bet it's heavy.
It's
but
not. It's not in theaters.
I don't.
By the way, I did ask them. They don't. They never sold that in theaters. That was only like an online merch kind of deal. Anyway, by the way,
which is crazy.
Yeah.
But I think still people would. There would at least buy one person that buys it in theaters, but it's nuts. But you know what? It's their prerogative. They're allowed to push. They're allowed to push the envelope.
Well, I guess I'm more excited. It's unlike right now. It's back to Pokemon cards where fucking people are bum rushing the stores to buy everything up and then scalp them. Right, like the Pokemon Pop-Tarts they had at Target. Like, yeah, we're gonna scalp Pop-Tarts. Yeah. I'm glad no one's like going and fighting over the Dune popcorn buckets right at the movie theaters like they did before. And it's not that. You know, I'm only getting ones for the movies we have, but I did realize like we don't have a Star Wars popcorn bucket because like they didn't do those back then. Like you said, they you know, really it's been several years of it, and we've been only getting them for movies that we enjoy watching or want to see rather than buy all the interesting ones. Like as much as I would have loved to have that Galactus head that's like 18 inches tall or whatever, I'm so glad we didn't do that one along the way. But anyway, maybe next year maybe Star Wars. Starfighter. next year. Is that the one, Starfighter?
I think so.
That's a horrible name because that's like half the video games as well. It's not Rogue Squadron, but like maybe that'll have a good one because I think the AT-AT is a pretty awesome display piece, but I don't know if I'd buy it with just for the Mandalorian stuff. Harry Potter and the TV series on HBO Max has been greenlit for season 2. I assume these were all greenlit for all the seasons. Like, why the fuck would you go all in on Harry Potter and then be like, yeah, we're only doing one season? We didn't. Yeah, I don't know. I assume they're getting all 10, Mike. I don't know what this means.
I would love to know. I would love to know what the contracts for these actors look like, right? Because obviously some of them kind of have to sign large upfront deals to commit to 7, 8 possible seasons, but also at the same time, in I think like the guild terminology, right? I think every 3 seasons you kind of renegotiate. So I'm curious what like the specific notes are in those deals. Because some characters obviously you could recast, some you could just leave out. They did that in the feature films, right, where they just started like dropping. What was it, like Draco's friends? Like,
one of them got arrested. One of them got arrested, and like they just left him out. Yeah, they didn't even mention him. And like
it's like we don't. Yeah, it's like we don't need this bully in this one. We can find another bully. But yeah, I guess I'm not surprised. I mean, this is one of the big reasons probably why they're even being bought. I mean, Harry Potter is like one of the biggest IPs on the planet. I would love to know if it has an expiration date for the deal, right? Yeah. Does Warner Brothers like in 2036 have to like renegotiate with like the Rowling consortium or whatever to retain the rights? I don't know, but they are ripe for the picking now.
Well, they'd have to have some sort of, because of the parks, I assume they have some sort of longer deal as well. That's like a little different. Like you wouldn't be like, oh yeah, we're going to pull it and you have to tear down all of the Hogwarts areas of Universal. So I assume there's a different deal in play for that. Kind of like how Universal has all the Marvel rights in Disney still after like decades of...
well, everyone's wondering what's going to happen to Simpsons Land out here at Universal Studios Hollywood. It's a pretty significant portion of the park, but the Simpsons, iconically purchased by Walt Disney years ago. And I would imagine once those rights expire, Disney's not going to renew them. I think Disney very much wants a walk around Homer Simpson somewhere at one of their parks. So that's an opportunity for Universal. Maybe they'll put like their own little like How to Train Your Dragon or something.
Yeah, I would have to see, like, this is where I wish we had a lawyer, because I don't think it's the same as movie rights. I think, again, to put that much energy and effort in, like, they're not just like, yeah, yank them. Like, Disney might be like, yeah, you can have that, but you can have The Simpsons. We don't want The Simpsons. We want Marvel in Florida. Again, like, can we, since you've got your new Dark Universe, can we borrow, or can we let you have The Simpsons and we'll take Marvel back? Because they're not even updating anything down there.
The Simpsons Land is officially scheduled to close by 2028.
Really? Okay.
That's when they say that the contract's expiring.
And I'm going to be honest with you, I had no idea there even was a Simpsons Land. So that tells you how great of a job they're doing saying that. So
the ride's kind of fun, but the area is dated. I'm seeing here that it was a 20-year contract, so that leads credence to your idea of like these contracts for shovels and ground need to be much longer than maybe like movie deals.
Yeah, and they may have like a first right like when it renews, they may have the first opportunity to buy in. Like they can't just like, yeah, we're gonna sell to somebody else as well. But either way, the other thing with Harry Potter season 1 will be premiering on Friday nights instead of the tried and true Sunday nights that HBO has done with most of the recent series, like the House of the or the Game of Thrones stuff and other shows. So they're moving this to a Friday night so we can watch I assume Friday nights with the family, because it's a family show, not an adult show, and then have the weekend to watch up and then talk about it Monday.
Do you remember that transition from watching TV with your family growing up on a Friday night, and then once you got a little bit older, you're just kind of like, oh, this is for like dorks to stay inside. I'm gonna go hang out with my friends on a Friday night. But maybe you didn't own a vehicle yet or a car. You didn't have your driver's license. So you're just kind of like, I don't want to watch this lame stuff on Friday night. But, I mean, I grew up in the TGIF area. Thank goodness it's Friday. So maybe they're going to bring it back a little bit.
Yeah, I doubt this fits under TGIF. I think this will be like a, but like it can't be too late, right? Like this is like a show meant for kids, like aimed at the younger audience. Like maybe it's like 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock Eastern on a Friday, like instead of like the 9 o'clock kind of thing. And I don't know. It is interesting that if for this show, if we do decide to talk about, I don't think we'll talk about every episode, but like we'll be able to like know what the last episode was 2 days before, rather than like, hey, if we were doing Game of Thrones or something on a Sunday, we'd have to know till the next week because we recorded too early. So it is interesting in terms of like how that like social shift will be for a show not being fresh on a Monday morning out the gate. So yeah, we'll see come December of this year. Planet of the Apes is getting a reboot, I guess, of sorts. Next film, I don't know if it's a reboot. It's definitely not a continuation of the last film trilogy yet. But Matt Shakman of the most recent Fantastic Four will direct it. Kind of maybe taking his hat out of the gate for Fantastic Four 2, or he might be able to get this done before Fantastic Four 2 gets off the ground, because obviously we've talked about Secret Wars still has to film and come out next year. So if he did it the back half of this year, first half of next, he could go right from that into Fantastic Four 2. But I didn't expect them to. Planet of the Apes is one of those franchises I know is good. I've only heard good things, but I've not really glommed onto it.
Where do you even go with this? I mean, I think the critics all really loved all of the Planet of the Apes movies, all of these, like, this newer run of them. I saw a couple of them, really liked them. Wasn't Andy Serkis the motion capture artist for the main apes in this, or am I just assuming that he did because he motion captures everything?
No, he did, because I thought there were three. There have been four. Yeah, he did Rise, Planet, and I think Rise, Dawn, and War, but not Kingdom. Which was it seemed like they pretty thoroughly covered the whole chronological experience of how did these apes come to take control over the planet, and how did humanity slowly die. So very thorough look at the story. So what's the new angle? They haven't got to the part where the original movies kicked off. There's been no spaceship land of someone who didn't know this happened, maybe the time traveling spaceman. Not that time travel fits in this hyper realistic world they built for these apes, but it is talking apes planet. So
yeah, I would just be curious. I mean, maybe you just change up the tone a little bit. I know the apes movies were kind of more serious. I'm sure there was little bits of sense of humor in it, but it was kind of very serious, straightforward, kind of action, dramatic movie. Maybe you change the tone up a little bit, make it a little funnier, more approachable. I don't know. I wouldn't want to adapt this after that successful run.
Yeah, I wouldn't know what to. I wouldn't know to go Rise, Dawn, War, Kingdom. I mean, it's wild because again, Matt Reeves, who we're going to talk about here in a little bit, did the two movies 2 and 3 in the middle of it, and they were done really. But yeah, Andy Serkis did the was it Caesar? I think Caesar was the one.
Yeah,
and then I think there was it took how long? It's generations after the last one, so it was possibly decades later. So I'm interested to see whether, because I honestly never thought Planet of the Apes would become a serious movie franchise after the original ones, right? Those first 5 are so campy. I remember watching them on TBS or stuff growing up. I'm what weird ass Planet of the Apes is going on in this one? Why are they underground fighting underground creatures? And then I don't have any bad feelings towards the Tim Burton one. I know it's not great, but at the same time, they had such a stacked cast, right? Tim Roth, Helena Bonham Carter, Michael Clark Duncan, Chris Christopherson, Paul Giamatti. Who else? Someone else was in that. Yeah, there's just so many really, really good people in that one. I'm that's kind of wild. People hate on it, but I'm that's fine. It was fine by me. But I don't know. Maybe it is the future. Maybe they other humans show up that are from our time rather than the other parts. But we'll see. Deathstroke and Bane, Mike. Remember this movie we talked about a long time ago for the DCU that was like possibly in the works, but then they were like, no, we're not doing anything. But apparently it's back. So apparently this movie could be getting traction again. This is per Deadline, not just like a rumor or a scooper. So like when it comes from Deadline, I usually give that like a little more weighted value than if it was just like, oh, this was on Twitter. So currently the Greg Mottola, who has directed like 3 episodes of Peacemaker and across season 1, 2, and some other stuff, is the frontrunner to direct movie. Is this something that fits in the DCU's current plan? I don't know where they're going anymore. Like a lot of the stuff they announced and that phase 1 stuff hasn't really come to fruition. They killed off the Authority stuff. James Gunn's like, yeah, it's not really working out. We're not going to do it. Does this fit into more Batman villains than before they get a Batman in the DCU? Kind of fit vibe? What do you think?
I mean, I love the character of Deathstroke, right? I feel like we've been teased for so long with kind of seeing him on the big screen in a serious way. We've had 2 adaptions of Bane that have kind of gone in polar opposite directions of like pretty much lifted from a cartoon and then very serious, realistic. So I think the characters on screen would be good, but yeah, I think that does lean into the kind of question that you have of like, we kind of need like a North Star in this Gunn universe, right? Like where are we pointing at? You know, when the Marvel movies kind of started to spin up, like even really, really early, we got the kind of hint and confirmation this is leading to an Avengers movie. You're finally going to get a superhero movie with all of these characters together. So strap in. We're showing you these post-credit scenes. I mean, I guess you could assume Justice League is coming at some point, but it doesn't feel as special anymore, right? Because we've already kind of seen it from Snyder, whether we like it or not.
Well,
and it's already been done. So I feel like we need like a direction that we're pointing so I can kind of be excited to see these characters. Because like, oh, these will be like a fun puzzle piece to add to this tapestry, you know?
Yeah, and I don't even think it's Justice League. I think it's more like a Justice Society. I was like, James Gunn is doing things a little different. Like there's no Wonder Woman. There's no Batman yet. I know they both should exist in there. The Green Lanterns are getting a TV show, which don't seem to be even tied to this. Who else is on the Justice League? Like the Flash. There's no Flash right now, right? Like Aquaman's not there. So like I don't know if they're going towards Justice League. It feels like a Justice Society because of like the weird like characters. Like Mr. Terrific was a highlight. Hawk Girl. The Guy Gardner Green Lantern. So they do have something, but like I would want to like everyone always shits on all the Batman shows that don't have Batman, right? Gotham, Pennyworth. Like this is a Batman movie or Batman villains without a Batman in them, as far as we know. Like that just seems weird. Clayface, I will give him a pass because it looks way different than a Batman movie, like right? They showed it before Mortal Kombat as well, but like I don't know. I guess Deathstroke was in like what Arrow? Was he like the main antagonist, protagonist in Arrow for a bit? Bane is. I don't even know anything he would do outside of Batman, right? Like, is it like how do they do it? So I just wish they would go ahead and if they are building something, go ahead and pull the trigger. We're gonna talk about Batman Part 2 in a little bit, but like. I think the regular audience can live with there being a James Gunn Batman and a Matt Reeves Batman at the same time. I think we sit here and overthink it, like because we're looking at it on a piece of paper together side by side. But I think most people will be like, yeah, Batman Part 2, Robert Pattinson, cool. We can also deal with a whoever was Alan Ritchson Batman in the James Gunn universe fighting Deathstroke and Bane. But I don't know. Deathstroke and Bane sounds like a video game as well rather than an actual movie. But that's me along the way. Do you think we will get any changes or big disruptions from the merger acquisition this year in the DCU? I personally don't think so, as long as Supergirl performs and Clayface perform. Man of Tomorrow is already filming. I think we'll be fine, at least for another 2 to 3 years. Any thoughts on that?
Oh, that's a great question, because if this merger goes through, you're an Ellison, you got to start cranking out the bucks because you just spent like every penny attached to your name to get this acquisition. So I would be a little worried that they would be too bullish and kind of pull a Chapek and just say, start cranking out this money machine. Like, I don't care if you want to wait, 6 years to get your Wonder Woman movie going. We need to get it out in 2 years, make it work. I hope that's not the case. But I mean, from what we've seen so far, the Gunn universe and I guess / Safran universe is fun and exciting and at the beginning of something new. We'll have to see how Supergirl goes. I want a tantalizing post-credit scene out of Supergirl. I know that kind of makes me sound like maybe less of a polished movie watcher where like, I don't need a good story. I just want a good end credit scene. But like, yeah, I need to be teased with something really exciting, I think, at the end of that movie.
I don't think Supergirl is going to surprise us. Like, that's like, when we talk about movie, like I was talking about Mortal Kombat, movies didn't surprise me in any way, shape or form. I knew what it was. Supergirl doesn't feel like it's going to surprise me. Do you get that vibe as well? Like I kind of see the beats and the points for the film as it kind of goes through. Like,
yeah, and especially since they were kind of leaning in that last trailer to crypto being another catalyst for the story. It's like, I feel like I watched this movie already, but we do have the X factor here of this universe technically being already lived in a real way. So maybe Martian Manhunter just shows up. Gunn doesn't, or I guess whatever. I always forget the actual director of this movie. They don't really have to lay the groundwork to get Martian Manhunter to appear on screen. Like, he already existed out there doing stuff.
I'm going to disagree because there is the history of, who's the villain of Man of Tomorrow, the robot? Brainiac. Brainiac taking the city of Kandor from her. I think this will lead directly into Man of Tomorrow with Brainiac instead of Martian Manhunter. I think Martian Manhunter would show up at the end of Man of Tomorrow on the other side of that. Not to throw you for a loop there, but I think just because that's such a direct line between those two. Now, if Martian Manhunter showed up at the end of Clayface, that'd be a whole different story, right? Like, he's like, hey, you've got Clay powers. I'm building the team.
If they showed Mr. Freeze, if they teased him in any way in Clayface, I think that would be really fun.
Well, you know what? To hell with you then. That's going to go right into our next point. We got Batman Part 2. Not in a bad way. Not hell with you in a bad way. But like Batman Part 2, Matt Reeves has given off some screen test images. And essentially, I think he says they're called snow tires. When you see it, it's hashtag snow tires. The Batmobile being chased what appears to maybe be the police in this universe, Gotham PD. I can't tell. But if there's snow on the road in a Batman movie, everyone is turning out for Mr. Freeze for this. Like, literally, it could just be winter, but maybe it is Mr. Freeze causing things on the city. I struggle to see a Mr. Freeze in this dark, gritty Batman universe that Matt Reeves originally set up. Now, mind you, Christopher Nolan pulled a 180 on us between Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, right? Like, Gotham is entirely two different places. So it is interesting for me that they could do that, but like, is Mr. Freeze? Are we due for a Mr. Freeze in the 2020s for the DCU?
It's funny because we have also plenty of ways to explain snow outside of Mr. Freeze, but we all want to see it so bad. There's already I think I can think of 2 Batman movies already where there's snow. Like, there's a Batman movie you can watch during Christmas already that exists because there's snow. And I swear, I think in one of the Nolan movies, I feel like I can recall like flurries at some point. Maybe it's The Dark Knight Rises because like it takes place over a longer period of time. So I feel like I do remember seeing moments where like when Gotham is like kind of blockaded, there's like snow out there.
Batman Returns was set at Christmas with the Penguin.
Yep, so, that's the one. And also, it kind of makes me think a little bit of the Miles Morales Spider-Man game, where it's just kind of like, how do we make the city a little different for this game? Set it in the winter.
Yeah.
So that's kind of also what I'm thinking, too, of just like, if we want to change the aesthetics of this, just set it in a different part of the year. But also, there's been rumors of like Calendar Man or something like that, or the Long Halloween, if it takes place over a longer period of time, a year.
Yeah.
We'll run into winter at some point in time, and Matt Reeves could just be like, well, this is just a really cool shot with the snow. Let's share it. This is slightly more interesting.
Driving in snow looks way cooler than fighting in snow in some of these movies, right? Like, I would love to see the Batmobile from the scenes from the first one in an entirely different environment than just like fire and the darkness. So I think it'd be really cool to see that. Adds a little more dynamism to it, if you will.
I do wonder if Gunn and Safran have struggled or battled with kind of to control this movie in any real way, because the first movie was successful and it was great. So there's no reason to kind of like get your hands in it, right? But what if they're just like, oh, Matt wants to use Mr. Freeze in his second movie? Oh man, we were going to use that in our movie coming up, and it was going to be really cool, and everyone's really excited to see Mr. Freeze. So do we tell him he can't use it, even though the movie would probably be really great? Luckily, I think the tones are different enough to where I think you could introduce maybe two types of freezes, but I don't know.
I don't think it's that hard in the sand. Like, I think that he's like, James, like, what do you want to do? Like, he probably knew what this movie was going to be before he even had an idea of how he was going to build his universe. Because what we know about the Batman, the Brave and the Bold so far is that it's a Damian Wayne thing with Batman rather than a Mr. Freeze. So I think they're fine. I don't think there's a struggle. I think it's just one of these things is like, they're probably using it to hold out to do their Brave and the Bold, but they should just get on with it. Like, nobody cares that if there's two. People get it. They'll understand along the way. But anyway, so if you think Mr. Freeze, you can check out these very nondescript shots of the Batmobile in snow from Batman 2 screen test. This week we get The Punisher with one last kill, and 3 new posters were revealed on Disney Plus because that's the next Disney Plus show, revealing like, I guess, 3 kind of different Franks, like the one who sits on the I guess next to his gravestone, next to his family, the one who's got the Punisher skull shirt on, the one who's shooting somebody with his vengeance. So I'm excited for this through and through. I have no idea what to expect out of it. We've just seen that one teaser. I hope it's a really pretty good thing. And we know it's rated TV mature on Disney Plus, so it'll probably have some blood and some action scenes. And obviously, we've seen him in Spider-Man: Brand New Day trailer. How to get from here to there? I'd love to see that, Mike. This is like real high on my list to watch this coming week. But
I wasn't expecting it to happen so quickly, right? Like right off the heels of Daredevil, and I know we talked about that on the show a while ago. So I'm still like mentally preparing for it. I mean, I feel like I was left wanting after the end of the first season of Daredevil. I wanted more Punisher. We haven't really seen him pop up in any real way in the second season. I think there was like an official announcement that this special is supposed to be taking place like during Daredevil season 2 and like before and around it. So I guess maybe we'll see something that connects to the Daredevil TV show season 2 in some way. But yeah, I'm really curious how necessary it is to watch it before the Spider-Man movie, right? You know, do we need an explanation of like why Frank is in New York?
I don't think we need it, but I'm going to watch anyway because like this is probably the most exciting thing probably since Wonder Man for me to come on to Disney Plus for the year. Because again, it's just a one shot, right? Again, that's the beauty of this. It's a 45 minutes, maybe an hour most out of time. You don't have to watch a whole season of The Punisher. Again, it's just a one shot. So hopefully they don't waste any time and hit the ground running and kind of tell the story of whatever the story is they're trying to tell along the way.
I wonder if they'll tee up a new Spider-Man trailer soon, right? Maybe to capitalize on everybody watching this Punisher stuff. Get a new trailer out there that maybe focuses a little bit more on Punisher and get everybody excited.
That would be up to Sony to do that, right? They own the marketing of that, or I guess the distribution. So we'd have to see if Sony wants to do that. Be smart, because we are less than what are we in May, June, through all of May, all of June, like we're less than 3 months away. We're overdue for I think it's Spider-Man, but we're also, God, I just want a Doomsday trailer, man. Like, is that so much to ask for? The one they showed at CinemaCon? Like, just give it to us.
Please,
like,
pretty please.
We'll say please. We'll eat our veggies off the plate if you let us watch the trailer. We'll do it. But yeah, Punisher One Last Kill this Tuesday on Disney Plus. To wrap it up, we're going to talk a little bit about Daredevil Born Again. Now, I've not finished the show yet, so this is all on me, but to talk about it. But I do have a couple notes about it. Mike, you can talk about the show if you finished it or not.
I am up to date.
Sweet. So, obviously, in this, we know Jessica Jones was coming. Let's just go ahead and say spoilers. I'm going to say spoilers for Daredevil Born Again Season 2. Does that sound fair? So, if you haven't watched any of it, watch it. Spoilers again for that. All right. Jessica Jones, we know she was going to be in the show. We also get to see the reveal of Jessica Jones and Luke Cage's daughter in the show. So that's following the comic book art. So they have a daughter, and I forget his name. The guy who plays Matthew Lillard, his character's name.
I don't think this is not the type of character I think you need to remember his name.
Yeah,
you can just call him Matthew Lillard.
Yeah, he's essentially like the Sitwell of this version of the Marvel universe, because he is essentially sent. Luke Cage has been sent over by Val from the Thunderbolts to do some stuff overseas. At the end of this, we find out, like, essentially they're going to hire Bullseye in to be a Thunderbolt or whatever. So that's how you get Bullseye into the Thunderbolts. Luke Cage, we know, is filming. We talked about some season set photos from that. We know that Iron Fist is coming back. So it sounds like season 3 is teeing up to be more of a Defender season, especially with Matt behind bars. What do you think about that? Like, and also there's also a time jump. Again, spoilers. It will be 1 year per the showrunner. I just saw it today. So 1 year time jump. Matt's behind prison for at least a year. They've got to be doing something with the Defenders in that meantime, right?
Yeah, I mean, watching this season, I feel like it started out stronger for sure than the first season. And we know it had production difficulties, like retooling, so it felt a little Frankensteinish in that first season. This season definitely felt more focused, but I was losing steam throughout it, right? You know, Daredevil, he was kind of like underground, being hunted. Matt Murdock also being hunted. So the characters really didn't have like free roam of the city. It kind of made me forget some of my favorite parts of the Daredevil show is when it's Matt Murdock in the courtroom, right? Where he has done his like due diligence and his hard detective work as Daredevil, like being out in Hell's Kitchen, collecting the evidence, like beating up thugs, you know, saving witnesses that he needs on the stands. And then he gets his like triumphant moment in front of a jury. And we do get that moment at the very end of the season. But to me, it felt like a long road. I was like, it really felt like we were recycling the same story from the first season of just like, yeah, we have this task force. They're rounding up people and they're bad. And somebody's trying to assassinate somebody at all times. So it felt like I was just going around in a circle. Kind of made me feel a little bit like the later seasons of like Arrowverse TV shows, where especially in those shows that are getting like 18, 20 plus episodes a season, you know, you introduce like your big bad guy in the first episode, and essentially all you can do all season is just have your hero and villain like circle each other, because they can't defeat each other halfway through the season. They have to wait until the last episode to do it. So you just have all of these like close calls and near misses and like, they just slipped away like so many episodes. And they kind of do that a little bit in this season, where it's just like, okay, he gets close to the Kingpin. Oh, he gets away. Oh, he gets close to this task force, and then they get away. He slips away. And I was just kind of like getting a little tired of it, a little exhausted. And then also just look at all the Daredevil TV shows. They're almost entirely Kingpin-led TV shows. And sometimes I think Kingpin is a more interesting character. So it feels more like you're watching a Kingpin TV show with Daredevil just trying to ruin his plans. So what I'm hoping, Chris, ultimately is this third season just like really changes the tone and direction of everything. You know,
well, it'll have to, because obviously with people knowing that Matt Murdock is now Daredevil, that's going to change everything, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, just give me something new to explore. Right. The last episode was fun. Like it was fun seeing Fisk finally being like his real like comic book villain. He was like just punching people and they were flying in the walls and he was like cracking necks and stuff and he was just being crazy and brutal. So I was like, oh wow, finally something's finally happening here. Why did I have to wait until the very last episode? And like, oh, Matt's finally on the stand using his like lawyerly questions. I was a little bummed that the main task force bad guy, I forgot his name, but he's the most annoying, prickish one that you just want to punch in the face. I thought he was going to get his comeuppance, and he just kind of got knocked out with the butt of a gun, just going like, oh, don't worry, we need to keep him around because we need a bad guy. So, I don't know. So, it was a mixed bag. Season 2 was a really big mixed bag for me. I don't know how much runway we got for this show left, to be honest.
I mean, I think they're shooting for a third season. I don't think they're going to go beyond 3. I mean, obviously, if they can get 3 out next year, again with the soft reboot that is Secret Wars, they can get new people back in, because I think these guys have been filming this for, like, Daredevil came out 2015, right? Like, they've been doing this for 15 or 11 years, 12 years next year. Like, their actors they can't last forever, sadly. So maybe they can get something new. With Matt being in jail at the end of this, the Kingpin being somewhere else, the biggest thing is like Vanessa Fisk being killed, right? Like, she's no longer, like, what does Wilson Fisk have to live for if she's dead? So there goes his like softer side. So we might get a more comic book version of him next season. But like, the rumors have been going around for months now that like Spider-Man and the hand shots from the posters and the trailers shows that, Spider-Man may be in prison. Is Spider-Man helping Matt Murdock in prison because Matt Murdock was his lawyer when he was, everyone knew he was Spider-Man from No Way Home, and like that's causing the hand to get involved. Like, that seems interesting.
I would think before everybody runs to their Polymarket accounts and starts putting money down, I would think along 2 channels on this one. Of first, I feel like every time a new Marvel movie is coming out, we always like overanalyze and overexcite ourselves, right? Of, all of the possibilities for like crossovers and all the surprise guests that we could see and all of the fun we can have with our action figures.
And I'm going to pause you there simply because the rumors for Spider-Man got out of control before we got the trailer, though. Like, everyone had pegged everybody in this movie as being in here, right? Like, we know the Punisher and Spider-Man. That's 2 people I never thought would be there, Punisher, Spider-Man. We've seen the toys of the Hulk. Everybody thinks Sadie Sink is Jean Grey. She could be, who was that? The other person I said earlier, Bloody Mary, or not Bloody Mary, Typhoid Mary, who's a Marvel character instead of Jean Grey. Like, there's tons of things. Like, again, I think you're right, but like this movie itself, Spider-Man, has done itself a disservice by setting up too many of those toys already. But you're not wrong. I'm just gonna let you continue.
Yeah. Because it just kind of feels like I feel like I'm always like humbled every time I go into a Marvel movie of just like, oh yeah, this is a Spider-Man movie. It's about Spider-Man. And I always forget that. And I would think back to the Daredevil cameo in the Spider-Man movie of like, it was very quick. It was really just a cameo and then it was done and over with. And then we continued on with our Spider-Man movie. And it happens in every Marvel movie that I watch. So I'm trying to think like what would be the story reason to bust Daredevil out. I mean, Spider-Man, he's got plenty of powers. Like, does he need Daredevil?
It might just be a favor. I mean, I'm actually gonna lean against you a little bit and say he's probably if he was breaking him out, it's because number one, the hand is becoming a problem in New York, and maybe he's like, I'm gonna do you did me a favor as a lawyer, I'm gonna do you a favor to get you out. And really, he just goes in, gets him out, has to fight the hand, who's also trying to get Daredevil, and just gets him out. It's like, hey, thanks for your help. Sends him on his way. Maybe it's nothing. Yeah. Like, it could be absolutely very minimal.
It could be a post-credit scene too. It could be something that maybe they haven't even filmed yet. We know these post-credit scenes are something that are like a second unit team that are all done in secrecy, and they're filmed way late in the game. That is very possible. But I would think the most obvious evidence that we have that maybe it's not happening is just look at, if you watch the ending of Daredevil, right? He willingly sacrifices himself, knows that the police are going to come and arrest him. He lets them take him away with like no fight when he easily could have got away. Like, he is sending a message to the justice system by being in prison. Like, if he wanted to break out, I don't think he needs Spider-Man's help. He's Daredevil, right? He's got plenty of friends in the justice system. So that's what I think is just like story-wise, I don't think he needs Spider-Man to break him out.
Then on the flip side, maybe Spider-Man goes, I'm like, I want to break you out. And he gets there and Daredevil's like, actually, no, I want to be here. Like, he goes to all that work. He's like, no, let's go. He's like, no, actually, I need to be in here because, I believe in the justice system at the end of the day. Maybe he doesn't even break him out. Like, he like turns himself back in. He's like, actually, I didn't ask for his help. He just happened to show up along the way.
I mean, whether it happens in the Spider-Man movie or not, at some point, I feel as fans, we are deserved a scene of them sharing a rooftop next to one of those like iconic like New York water towers. I feel like that panel I've seen like 100 times in comic book history, and it's always so satisfying because Spider-Man is a goof. He's always running around quipping, and then you have like this brooding Daredevil, like hardcore justice morals guy, just like with his red beady eyes in the corner, and I love that. We got it a little bit in that new animated Spider-Man show like last year. I want to see it in live action, so I don't know how we get it.
I want to see them both swinging. I want to see like them, like Daredevil's not swinging as high as Spider-Man, but like they're both like, it's like one of those, like you said, it's a shadow shot, but it's like them both swinging through the New York skyline at like different heights. So I think that'd be really cool visually from the comic book point of view as well. But yeah, I don't know. Like there's a lot going on here this year with all these characters because, like I said, the Punisher was in Daredevil and he's also in Spider-Man. There's a lot of cross pollination. They may be accidental, maybe intentional, but we won't know until the end of July. With that, do you think the Hand could be the villain in season 3? A return of the Hand. Would that change the tone and vibe of the show enough rather than just being like, hey, it's all about being the mayor of New York and we need that position?
I would hope that they could come up with one other idea.
Well, not the whole thing, but like that's a way different enough at least to like start on the journey away from
just. I mean, Daredevil, he has a lush comic book history. I'm sure they can come up with something that hasn't been in the Netflix shows. And was the Hand in the Elektra movie? I think
if they were briefly. It wasn't enough for people to remember anything about that.
So it's like there's got to be something else.
There's also a comic book called The Devil in Cell Block D, which was a more recent comic book. Not recent, like not old comic book of Daredevil that they could be leaning into as well, where the whole show is essentially Matt in jail doing different things. Like that's where the thing is. But we've seen the inside of the old show. What was it, season 2, where the Punisher broke into the jail to go after the Kingpin and stuff like that. So like we don't need to see jails again. We've gone through the jail system several times in the show. Show's lifetime. All right, well, that's the show for today. Mike, if people want to know what you're up to, what you're doing, where can they find you at?
Oh, they can read my web comics at pickledcomics.com and liferewardsrisk.com. Chris, people want to catch up with you. Where can they find you?
Yeah, find me on Instagram, Valdan87, VALDAN, or video games of the same name. People know about the show, where they can go to the show notes, see these links, watch these videos. Where can they get all them goodies at?
Oh, yes, you can see us locked up in our cell block at superheroslate.com. We are on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, wherever else you love listening. I guess watching podcasts, too. We got merch at superheroslate.com/store. We love hearing from you. Let us know what you're excited for coming up on your favorite streaming service in the theaters. We want to know what's hyping you up. And if you want to be a super fan of this show, all you have to do is share the show with a friend, share the show with a buddy, and we will be here every week, folks.
That's right. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.